Hello folks. So in today's video we're going to see how to get started with creating Visual Studio Code extensions. So I'm sure you would have heard of Visual Studio Code. It's a pretty famous text editor, and it's actually not just a text editor. It can also actually be a very powerful IDE, integrated development environment, with the help of the extensions that it provides and the many other out-of-the-box features it has. But it's also as simple as a text editor too, if you want it to be. So, if you don't already have Visual Studio Code, I would recommend you to download and try it out. There are many similar text editors or IDEs like Sublime, Atom, IntelliJ, and whatnot. Uh, some of the specialties for Visual Studio Code is that it's open source. So is Atom, but IntelliJ and Sublime, not really. So now let's get into our topic, which is Visual Studio Code extensions. So I told you that Visual Studio Code is powerful with the help of extensions, and of course some of its out-of-the-box features. So if you can notice, some of the features when they mention extensions finally. So you can install existing extensions, or you can actually build your own. If there's none for the use case that you have, or you just want to build a better or a different kind of extension for the same kind of use case, like that. So let's get started. And this video is not like you cannot do this on your own. You can do this on your own without even like checking out this video. um, Visual Studio Code has really good documentation on how to create extensions. So I'm creating this video to mostly document my journey, and also show that it's pretty straightforward to actually create a extension if you put your effort. And it's not really that hard. You just have to read the documentation and just take it step by step. And this video is more of a awareness video. So without further ado, let's get started. So for building your extension, you would be using JavaScript or TypeScript. So and you would need Node.js and npm installed. So if you don't already have Node.js installed, I would recommend you to go ahead and like install the one of these versions. I would recommend probably the long-term support LTS version over here. This would also work. So going to my terminal, I am going to actually show you that I have Node version 12.19 and npm version 6.14.8. So to get started with your first extension, so you can go ahead and like check out this documentation which talks about everything that you need. So initially you would actually start by installing this thing called Human, and then generator code. So Human is actually a good tool to bootstrap projects. And to bootstrap a Visual Studio Code extension project, you would need this formula to bootstrap your project. So I've already installed this, so I have it here. And it's taking quite some time to actually show the version. In the meantime, so after you install this, so I have version 3.1.1. So after doing this installation of Yeoman and generator code, you just need to type your code, and it's going to actually start up and show you some interactive questions. Okay, so it says welcome to the Visual Studio Code extension generator, and we're going to generate an extension by choosing some options. So what type of extension do you want to create? So there are different kind of extensions. So you can create a key map, so wherein you actually you know uh, have some shortcuts for different kind of actions, or you can actually create code snippets where people can easily add snippets to their program. or language support, or its localization. This is about programming language, I believe, and this is about actual like English, Japanese, and stuff like that. Those kind of languages, I believe. And there's colors like themes, and there is our extensions. So we are going to concentrate on extensions for now, and I'm going to choose TypeScript. So let's name it as I don't know, like VS Code demo extension, and you give an identifier for extension. Um, so usually this name is actually for your users to see it on the marketplace. So this would actually be a more nice name like this VS Code extension, but I just typed a very simple thing. So I'm going to type the same over here, but the identifier is usually in small case and very simple with hyphens, dashes, and all. So description, this is a demo extension, and initialize the Git repository, yes, and I would like to use npm, and if you want you can use yarn too. So if you're done with this, it'll actually install the packages for you and initialize the repository, and that has all been done actually over here. So you just have to go into VS Code demo extension. Okay, so I have the extension over here, and there is git initialized. So I'm just going to git add and like and commit this bootstrap extension. Okay, that's done. Okay, so now with this, you can actually open this extension in a Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now if you actually notice, there is a README, and there is also a quick start over here. So you can actually go ahead and read this, and it's really very intuitive. So and they also explain what's going on and like how to run things. So to run things, you just do press F5 and it just starts running. So you can see your extension run by just doing F5 inside your Visual Studio Code, and it uses this debug feature of Visual Studio Code and runs your extension. So there is also a way to run your extension tests. We'll come to that. So it's actually currently building now. So you can see that it's doing some compilation because it's a TypeScript code. Okay, it's taking quite some time. Okay, cool, it's done. And okay, so can I type something? Okay. So now if I actually say hello world, so okay, hmm, hello world. Okay, it's activating the extensions. Okay, let's wait for that. some reason my extensions are really slowly loading, but so that's the hello world. So if you close this and like open up hello world again, so you can actually see that whenever I do command shift P and like open up the command palette and like um, choose hello world, and it shows hello world from VS Code demo extension and like source this extension. And you can also see your extension being present over here, I guess. Let's see. Or demo extension. Okay, it doesn't show it here actually. Okay, this is someone else's demo extension, not mine. Anyways, but it's actually installed, and that's why you're able to actually see the hello world. So I'm just going to close this for now. And so this was in debug mode, so you can actually debug your code and not just run it. So that's how you get very easily started by running your code and just answering some interactive questions, and that's it. So the next thing you would actually do is you can also run your tests over here. So VS Code provides a way to actually run your integration tests, so that when you're developing your software, you can run tests and check if the software is running well. So let's see how that goes. So you just open up the debug panel and then click on extension tests and like run it. So behind the scenes, it's actually running the tests. So let's see what it says over here. So you can actually do Command Shift U, and so I'm on Mac, so I'm appropriately typing the keyboard shortcuts. Okay, okay, looks like my computer is slow today. So it should be showing the tests running by now. It's still activating the extensions and it's done. Okay. Oh yeah, it's done now. But yeah, okay. So the debug console actually shows the output for your tests. It took time because like my VS Code just loaded very slowly. But as you can see, there is a test suite for integration test and there's a sample test, and it just runs. It uses this framework called Mocha and Neutron's. So these are the most basic things that you would do when you get started to see if you're able to run your extension and if you're able to run the tests, integration tests for it. And then you can just get started by looking at the code and reading the README and quick start. VS Code has a really good documentation on their website for everything starting from a basic your first extension to extension anatomy, and then like what an extension can do, and like a full set of guides, and how do you test and also publish your extension. So to publish your extension, you would actually be publishing it to something called Marketplace in Visual Studio. This is a marketplace for Visual Studio Code, and I believe for Azure too. So Visual Studio is a separate software. It's a full-blown IDE. Visual Studio Code has IDE capabilities and basic text editor capabilities. So you would be actually publishing your extension under this, and you can see, you can actually click this to see how to build your own. extension and like how to publish your extension. You can click this, and I'm signed in, so you sign in and then publish the extension. And this takes you, build your own takes you to the same place where I was, like to show on how to get started. So I'll put this on the description and you can check it out. So that's how you create an extension and like get started. So it's pretty easy, and then like you just follow things one by one, and you'll get to here where you publish it, and share it with everyone to install and try it out. So that's all this video is about, to get started and make you aware that you can actually create extensions for VS Code, and like it's pretty easy to get started, and you can actually build your own extension and be cool. Yep. Bye bye then.